Welcome back, everyone. This is Fire Talk. I'm Drew Watson, Director of Athletics at Southeastern University. It's great to be back with you this afternoon. I am standing in for our fearless leader, Dr. Engel, who could not be here today. And joining me today is Josh Fisher, our Assistant AD for Athletic Communications. How you doing today, Josh?
I'm good. It's happy to be here. Happy to fill in when I can and give it our best shot here on homecoming week.
That's right. It's always such a special week here at SEU. The campus looks fantastic as usual. The energy's high, and there's something happening every single day this week.
Yeah, it's truly one of those weeks that brings everyone together on a campus like this. Alumni coming back, lots of family visiting, and of course, plenty of fire athletics in the mix this week.
Exactly, and we'll get into all of that a little later in the show. The events, the games, and some of the traditions that make homecoming at SEU unique.
But it's also great to pause for a moment and appreciate what this week represents: the celebration of the community. You can, like I said, we feel it everywhere on campus. It's in the classroom, the hallways. It'll be out there in the tailgates, and then, of course, at all of our games this week.
I completely agree. It's one of those weeks where SEU feels like one big family reunion. And you can sense that excitement. It's contagious.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt. With everything happening in fire athletics right now, with conference tournaments, national championships even right around the corner, and some homecoming festivities, it's just a great time to be here at SEU.
Yeah, that's right. Well, when we start today with a look back at men's soccer. Of course, their season wrapped up, 20-25 season wrapped up last week with a tough 2-1 loss on the road at SCAD Savannah in the Sun Conference Tournament quarterfinals. You know, we lost that game, but what I hear about SCAD is the worst thing is the bugs.
Yeah.
Is that I think Coach Keller came back from their women's game up there a few weeks ago, and his legs, it looked like he had chicken pox, just getting bit throughout the game. So hopefully our guys did not fall prey to that. But, they lost the game 2-1 in the quarterfinals, so their season's over.
Yeah, I mean, they finished 6-7-3 with they got back to the postseason, which with everything they went through this year, it really was quite impressive to see kind of get to the tournament. They obviously not the results they wanted, but I think as a whole, I think we can be pretty proud of what that team did.
Yeah, for sure, and you have to give a ton of credit to interim head coach Garrettson Crane. Garrettson, I called him in July. I was on vacation around July 4th. I called him from up north, and he said he'd get back to me. We talked a few days later, and he signed on to be the interim coach. So he stepped in the role this year, did a fantastic job leading the program, and really what I've told him is he wasn't just a substitute teacher. He dove in, he invested in the guys. He was here for them, and just can't say enough about the job he did.
Yeah, I was gonna say to step in that role, and right, they stayed competitive. The guys bought in, he bought in. Like, it could have easily just, like you said, substitute teacher, kind of mailed it in, but that was not what happened. And just sometimes sports are weird and stuff don't go your way.
Yeah, and they had some personnel issues, lost some guys midway through the season, some real impact players, and the group grew. I mean, that was obvious. They stayed to get competitive in nearly every match, developed their younger players, and represented SEU with class.
For sure, and definitely grateful for his leadership and the commitment from the entire men's soccer team. But let's move from the pitch to the court. It's been a busy stretch on the hardwood early in the year, and both Fire basketball teams have been rolling early this season.
Yeah, they have. Let's start with women's basketball, where it's it's been for Coach Epperson and the team. Since last week's episode, they've added 3 more wins to move to 5-0 on the season.
Yeah, they've looked fantastic, dominating 2 games in the Cumberland's Classic in Kentucky. Then they came home last night, kept it rolling with a 50-point, 92-42 win over Fort Lauderdale over in the Furnace.
So I was talking to Coach about this, but they played Goshen and win 80-49, and played Defiance and win 85-38. The scores of both those games could have been a lot more, the margin of victory. And I don't understand. We drive all the way up there to Kentucky, and Cumberland's won't play us.
Yeah,
I mean they're a perennial national tournament team, and you just got to wonder, why that happens.
Yeah.
I mean, you think that, I know Josh is built this way, but you think that, okay, let's get another tournament team in here and have an early season, battle here. But not everybody thinks like that, unfortunately.
Also would be good for us to get makes us look better schedule-wise. Even I was talking to the office earlier, the schedule is kind of what's hindering us right now a little bit, right? They're 5-0, but people aren't taking them as much serious because of the schedule, and there's only so much you can do about that, but I promise you that's a solid team, and they're going to be in contention all year.
Absolutely. And you mentioned last night's home game. Fun game to watch, the depth, the tempo, the confidence that this team is developing. You can tell they found their rhythm early. They defend at a high level, share the ball, and have multiple scoring opportunities each night.
Yeah, no question. Obviously they set the tone early last night. Exciting to see. They got a big weekend coming up. Hopefully they can carry that momentum.
Yeah, we've got conference opener here Saturday at Florida Memorial, so that's going to be exciting. On the men's side, Coach Hudson Welty's group has also been making noise, now 3-1 after a strong week on the road.
Yeah, they picked up wins at Spartanburg Methodist and Columbia College, sandwiched between a loss there with Columbia National, but that's a good team, and scored 100 points on Saturday, kind of showing what this team is capable of, and dynamic offense, great spacing. You can see the chemistry early in the year.
Yeah, that game against Columbia International, I just think we didn't shoot the ball well.
Yeah.
And that unfortunately that happens. And I would say, looking back on it, Coach is probably going to say it's uncharacteristic loss because I think they're going to D up pretty well.
Yeah.
And so to give up 85 points to a team like that, that's probably something they're going to kick themselves for later. But as I said to Coach, I mean, it's a process as you grow through the season. They've got a lot of new faces, so they're doing a lot of the little things. As I said, defense, rebounding, communication. You can see the system starting to click under Coach Welty in his second year here.
Yeah, as with him, both men's and women Open Sun Conference played together on Saturday at Florida Memorial. It's just crazy to me. Women at 2, men at 4. It's like the second week in November we're playing conference games.
Yeah.
We got to look at the schedule, I think.
Well, I think the coaches don't like playing 3-game weeks.
Yeah.
And so with the amount of games we have to play, unless you want a 3-game week or two in the second semester when it counts the most, you got to play in November. So unfortunately, as a coach, I didn't like the early. I liked getting through Christmas. Let's develop. Let's get all our people healthy. So, well, let's shift gears from the court to the mat. Wrestling was back in action last weekend, and what a start it's been for the number 2 ranked Fire. First of all, number 2 ranked Fire. That's never happened before, which is incredible. Southeastern Open dual season in dominant fashion, rolling past Reinhardt. Traditionally a pretty good team.
Yeah.
I think they've got a lot of new faces though this year. 32-7 was the final in their Appalachian Athletic Conference opener.
Definitely a statement win to start that part of conference play. They took 8 of the 10 matches, earning bonus points in half of them.
Yep.
Aaron Lucio, obviously top ranked in his weight class in the country, won with 11-6.
And Voiles.
Yeah, he had a pin, and Mario Del Toro kept it going as well, or Del Torre, sorry. With a 15-8 win, they've off to a really good start.
Yeah, they really showed control throughout the lineup. Even after dropping one at 157, the Fire responded big.
Yeah, Jovan Mitchell got a tech fall at 165, and then Ty Rodriguez, who his opponent he had lost to earlier in the week, or the weekend before, came back and beat him. So, and then they got upperweight wins as well. So just still, the really dominant finish there.
Batson, Smith, Wheatley. I mean, this team is really good from top to bottom. And head coach Travis Patrick called it a solid all-around performance, and that's exactly what it looked like. Confident, composed from start to finish.
And then a couple days later, they were the Georgia Open. They had 13 guys place. Lucio won another title. His guys rolling right now. 20 wrestlers finished the event with a winning record. Raymond Carvey, Karsten Grape, kind of both runners up in their brackets.
Yep.
And we play someone in every weight class, which is just incredible depth.
Yeah, you look at Lucio, and he's all business. When you get out there, he's in one of the lighter weights. He's not a heavyweight, but when I it's almost like when I see him on a Prado and shake his hand.
Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
And he's got a great personality, but he's all business. Like he's here to win. He's here to get A's and get out of here with a degree and a few championships. So it's really fun to watch him wrestle. So, when you can score points top to bottom in wrestling, that's how you build championship momentum. And they'll keep that, try to keep that rolling Thursday night when they head to Kaiser for another big conference duel. 2 nationally respected programs. Always high stakes when we go to Kaiser, face Kaiser, and a chance for SEU to keep proving why they're one of the nation's best.
Yeah, it should be a great one. I can't wait for them to get home. I've only been in one wrestling match my whole life, the red and black duels, and it was exciting. I just can't wait to dive back in and kind of get a better feel for what that program is all about.
Yeah, what'd you think? I mean, you've been in this business for a long time and have never been in a wrestling school.
For sure.
How was that red versus black for you?
It was a lot to take in for sure. A little different. It's overwhelming at times and then exciting at times. It'll be nice to see us go against someone else, so that I'm not confused on which. Yeah. They're all our guys. They're like which team, what team we want.
Yeah,
so maybe when I have a better feeling for this is our guy and that's their guy, it'll make even more sense. But I really enjoyed it.
I mean, I'm PAing that night, and who's winning, red or black? I can't. Okay, So I am in agreement with you. Let's get someone else in here.
For sure.
So switching gears, we also saw Fire Volleyball wrap up their regular season last week, and what a year it's been.
Yeah.
The team closed out with a 3-0 sweep at Warner on Wednesday before falling in 4 sets. Tough match at number 14 St. Thomas on Saturday.
Yeah, that really was a tough match at Miami Gardens. Really, the top 2 teams in the conference. They finished 1-2 in the final standings. Yep. The match definitely had a championship type feel.
Yep.
And even a loss to get to 21-4 on the year, just incredible mark.
Yeah, no, it really is. It's been a great season. Look at what Coach Phelps and this group have done all season. Consistent, balanced, resilient. They've shown they can bounce back quickly and compete with anybody in the country.
Yeah, and I mean, that's earned them the number 2 seed in the conference tournament. They opened, the Curva State started last night.
Yep.
They learned they're going to play New College in the semifinals on, was that Friday? That'll be we're the 2, they're the 3 at 6 p.m. St. Thomas is the host of that. But it should be, looking forward to that and seeing. New College got them in the regular season. We got them once too, so kind of that rubber match in the semifinals.
That's going to be a tough one. I mean, that's something where, as a team enters postseason, you start, okay, we got it. We're going to get a third shot at crack at St. Thomas. We're going to get them, and then you tend to overlook.
Forget to get New College.
So I think that early season loss to New College is probably good at this point in the year because it's like, oh, they can beat us.
Correct.
We need to be focused and then get to business after that match. So when we win that match,
when we win,
we'll move on to Saturday's conference championship match at 4 p.m. against either top-seeded St. Thomas or 5th-seeded Kaiser, who beat Ave Maria last week.
Yeah, good. Great opportunity for this group. 21 wins, second in the conference. Still a lot to play for. They seems like they're very much on the bubble for the national tournament. I think they're in, but what do I know? But it's another chance. I mean, 2 good teams you're going to play this weekend and a chance to kind of build that resume.
Yeah, I think they should be in, but we're biased a little bit. But, I think they probably should have been in last year and didn't get in. And, hopefully they've done enough this year to get it done. So we'll be keeping a close eye on them in Miami Gardens as they chase conference title this weekend.
For sure. And, it was a great weekend for Fire Cross Country.
Yep.
At the Sun Conference Championships, also up in Hardyville, South Carolina, where both teams really had outstanding performances and brought home runner-up finishes at the conference championship.
Yeah, it was really impressive. Complete team effort on both sides. They had a delayed start because just the names – I won't get into it, but the timer did not have the proper names in the system, and so it delayed the match for a half hour. The women finished second overall in the 6K at Sergeant Jasper Park, scoring 44 points, just behind SCAD Savannah's 32. And what stood out was their balance, six runners in the top 15, the most of any team in the field.
Yeah, I mean, and the 15 is all conference, so 6 all conference selections.
Yep.
And Izzy Colbank once again led the way with her third place finish, just over 22 minutes. Fantastic race for her. And then right behind, Jocelyn Armstrong finished 6th.
Yep.
To give SEU 2 runners in the top 6. And then you've got to love the pack behind them. Ashley Poulin, Macy Mills, Ella Sager, and Jaden DeVarna. They all finished 10th and between 10th and 15th. And that kind of scoring pack is kind of what Coach enjoys.
Yeah, that really shows how consistent this group has been all season. Their top 5 finished within 1 minute of each other. That's elite level team running. I think, and I don't know if Coach would want me to say this on air, but I will say he had a champions of character moment in that race. Coming down the stretch in the women's race, the SCAD runner, and forgive me, I don't know her name, but she was way up. I mean, she's got 200-meter lead on the number two girl, and the way the course was set out, sometimes it's not very clear. Like, do I run to the left of the cones or the right of the cones? What? And she ran the wrong way. She ran to the left, and I'm with Coach, and he's screaming at her, "No, turn right, turn right!" And just at the last minute, she figures it out and gets back on track, and she turns left there. If he doesn't say anything,
right, she
probably turns left and is disqualified, and we actually win the championship.
Sure.
And so for a coach to do that in a crunch time moment, I was. I've always thought that of Coach Kurtz, but to see that in action is really cool.
And we had him on recently, and you could see that's what he is. And just talking to him here, but the men also had a great day. They took second place as well in the 8K, finishing just behind Ave Maria and narrowly ahead of SCAD Savannah.
That was close.
They ended up with 64 points and had 3 runners in the top 15. Jack Brooks led the charge again, finishing in 3rd. Derek Robinson was 12th, and Spencer Lewis was 13th. And that front pack really set the tone for what they were doing, and to close it out to give SEU another solid finish.
Yeah, Joss and Ledesma, did a good job there, and I was headed to volleyball in Miami, so I had to get out of there before they announced the winners, the places for the team. And as I'm leaving, I saw probably the first 25 men cross the finish line, and I didn't know. It was clear that Avi Mary was going to win, but I had no idea until I called Coach later.
Sure.
So yeah, it's been the identity of both squads this season: tight pack running, great communication, and consistency from top to bottom. It was another strong showing for the program. Unfortunately, those results weren't quite enough to qualify either team for the NAI National Championships, but the Fire will still be represented in Tallahassee.
Yeah, that's right. Izzy Colbank and Jocelyn Armstrong will compete as individual qualifiers on the women's side, and Jack Brooks got a bid for the SEU on the men's side, and that's November 21st at Appalachia Region Park up in Tallahassee.
Well, that's going to be a great experience for them. It's a beautiful course. I've been up there racing on a national stage representing SEU and showcasing what this program's all about.
Yeah, Coach Kurtz and staff deserve a ton of credit. Both teams kind of peaked at the right time, competed hard, and they really just gave everything they had in that last meet there.
Josh, I can't believe we made it this far into the show without talking about women's soccer.
I know, right? Can we believe what's going on there? Because, this team is on a run right now.
Exactly. The Sun Conference regular season champs pulled out a gritty 1-0 win over St. Thomas in Saturday's tournament semifinal up at the SEU soccer field.
Yeah, that match had everything you want in postseason soccer, right? Physical, fast-paced, tense, and right till the end. And Southeastern carried their run of play most of the night, created more of the chances, and finally in the 70th minute, they broke through.
Yeah, we have a clip here with great play-by-play announcing, I might add.
So you can see Hiroki had a chance, hits the post, yeah. But then Olivia just there,
my dad she wanted to leave, no doubt there.
Correct.
And what I love was how complete that performance was. The Fire controlled possession, stayed organized defensively, and really dictated the pace of play. That was a team win in every sense.
For sure, and they just had a draw. They can score at St. Thomas to close your regular. So just to bounce back and get that done. And now it all comes down tonight.
Yep.
The Fire are hosting third-ranked Kaiser right here at the SEU soccer field at 6 o'clock for the Sun Conference Championship.
Yeah, the stakes could be no higher. The winner gets the conference's automatic bid to the NAI National Tournament, while both of these teams are likely to make the 40-team field. And SEU win tonight could put them in a great position to host that opening round right here in Lakeland.
And what a reward that would be, bringing the national tournament soccer back to campus with this group of players and this staff to this home crowd. It'd be really exciting.
Yeah, it's going to be an incredible atmosphere tonight. A little chilly. It's going to feel like fall.
Yeah.
A championship match under the lights, 2 nationally ranked programs, and a trophy on the line.
Yeah, Fire Nation, you'll want to be there early because kickoff's at 6, and we wish all the best of luck to Coach Skelly Keller and the Fire as they go to sweep the regular season and conference tournament titles.
Yeah, hard to believe, Josh, but here we are. The final football game of the regular season is already here this weekend.
Yeah, it's really flown by. The Fire will wrap things up Saturday at 4 p.m., homecoming, senior day, Ave Maria right here at Victory Field.
Yeah, Southeastern comes in ranked number 15 nationally, and they'll be looking to bounce back after a hard-fought 34-23 loss at number 2 Kaiser last weekend in West Palm Beach.
Definitely a battle. Score. I would say the score is even closer than that. The game came down to a couple plays right at the end, and we were trying to make something happen. But, but right now it's about finishing strong. This is their last statement opportunity before the NAI announces the 20 teams who make the football championship series, and that happens on Sunday night. And this is kind of a good opportunity for the team.
Yeah, that makes this homecoming game even bigger. A chance to send off a tremendous group of seniors the right way and strengthen SU's postseason resume.
Yeah, you can always feel the emotion on senior day too. Those final introductions. The hugs on the sidelines. It's very powerful.
Yeah.
And to do it over homecoming weekend, it'll make it even more special for those guys.
Yeah, and this group, as I've stood on the sideline just listening to how they speak to each other, this is probably, I would say, the best culture team that we've had in quite a while. In years past, you've got things going wrong on the field. They're just barking at each other and just it doesn't happen. There's a bunch of guys who are trying to remind everybody who they are as individuals and as a team. So it's really good, fun to be around them. And we mentioned homecoming. What a weekend it's shaping up to be. Campus is buzzing. Homecoming 2025 events, and there's something for everyone.
Yeah, and things really get rolling Friday morning. Check in the Welcome Center and an optional preview day chapel, Bush Chapel for visiting families. There's a market day at El Prado from noon to 2, house tours, and a ton of alumni games happening across campus.
Yeah, that's great. Friday evening is stacked. The Fire Fair kicks off at 6 p.m., followed by the alumni reception at the Welcome Center Breezeway. Then at 7:30, the always popular golf cart parade, led this year by the class of 1975, rolls through campus, and that flows right into the rally at 8 p.m. on Destino Field.
And then the Saturday morning starts early with the homecoming 5K at 8 a.m. supporting SEU missions, and then the missions fun run right after. We'll also have alumni from the 70s can stop by for brunch between Bethany and Bower Halls, and everyone's encouraged to explore Lakeland love. Check out local spots like Palace Pizza, Parlor Donuts, and Conrad Coffee. Chance to get some discounts with your homecoming lanyards.
Yeah, Concord Coffee. You're new to town.
Yeah.
New to town. So Concord Coffee is actually a great place to pick up a cup of coffee, and their parking is a lot better than it used to be.
Oh, that's key. Parking is key to everything.
Well, then it's all about the pregame atmosphere. The homecoming tailgate starts at 1:30 p.m. in Destino Lot, featuring Burning Bush Barbecue. For $25, you can grab a plate and enjoy live music, games, and the best tailgate scene in the NAIA.
For sure. And then about 3:40, 3:45, we have our game ball feature and senior day recognitions. Kickoff at 4 o'clock against Ave Maria. Halftime will include shout-outs to all the alumni in the House of Decades and the crowning of Mr. and Mrs. SEU.
And when the clock hits 0, the celebration keeps going. Class of 22, alum Dylan Dames will perform an outdoor concert starting at approximately 7 p.m., followed by the always spectacular homecoming fireworks show right after that.
Just the perfect way to cap off a full weekend. And remember, this year's homecoming thing is a blackout.
Yep.
So wear black to Victory Field and help us pack the stands.
We're actually getting ready for that today.
Mm.
You can't see anything.
That's right.
You can just see kind of our hands and our head. But, we are getting ready for the blackout this weekend. We want to see a wall of black across the stadium. And if you haven't registered yet, you can still do so online at alumni.seu.edu/homecoming.
Yeah, so come early, bring the family, and be really part of one of the best weekends of the year at SEU for sure.
Yeah, it's homecoming, senior day, and possibly a playoff preview. You can't script it any better than that.
So before we move on, we want to take a moment to recognize this week's presenting sponsor, Coca-Cola Beverages of Florida.
That's right. Coca-Cola Beverages Florida is proud to distribute the world's most delicious sparkling energy, water, juice, tea, and coffee beverages to over 18 million Floridians every day. They were honored as the 2020 Minority Business Enterprise Supplier of the Year, Class 4, recognized for excellence in business performance, community involvement, and their leadership in supplier diversity.
As a family-owned independent bottler, Coca-Cola Beverages of Florida is the official soft drink of Fire Athletics and Southeastern University. And we are so thankful for their partnership and continued support of our student-athletes, fans, and community.
Partnerships like that help make everything we do possible, from championship broadcasts to homecoming celebrations and everything in between. So thank you, Coca-Cola Beverages Florida, for being such a valued part of Fire Nation. All right, Josh, we got two special guests with us today. Fresh off a win last night that moved the Fire to 5-0 on the season, as we talked about earlier, women's basketball head coach Josh Epperson and graduate forward Grace Field. Coach Grace, good to have you both here.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, great to be here.
So, Coach, you're now in your second season here in Lakeland, and you're off to the 5-0 start. Do you feel like this team is further ahead this point of year than they were this time last year?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the key with our program is every year, hopefully you're making progress. We talk a lot about that in our program, that everything's about a process. And that's a big thing we preach, that results, if you just seek a result on a scoreboard, it doesn't really fill into what are you trying to do long term. And so we definitely have seen that early for us. As far as the first step of that, as biggest steps are in the culture and off the court, and that obviously leads to what we do on the court. And you can see that in how they play, too. It's just so many extra passes. Literally last night, Grace can tell you, I had to get onto them because they were being too unselfish. We were turning it over sometimes because they were looking not to score themselves. I'm like, you're wide open. Just score the basketball.
Yeah.
So, but that's a huge stride for this group as they continue to build. And they're a hungry group, too. They know that we have just scratched the surface of what we can do this year. And so it's exciting. And we have a good mixture this year of some older players and younger ones. We have a big freshman group, and that's exciting. Last year, we love Allie to death, but she was only a freshman last year.
Yeah.
So it's been a nice mixture this year where there's some players for our older players to mentor. Last year was just Allie, so they could just mentor to her. So it's kind of cool to see the older players get to play that role as well.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned earlier that Grace's nickname is Grandma. right?
Right.
I mean, so, but that's, I mean, I think that's flattering because it's like sometimes it's making fun of that you're an older player, but typically it's more like a nod to you, like, hey, thanks for taking care of us, and that's really cool. So it's your second year in the program, now stepping into a bigger leadership role. How have things felt through training camp in these first few weeks of the season?
Yeah, like Coach said, it's been really great. I think we have a handful of returners from last year and then a lot of new faces between transfers and freshmen. We've just been blending really nicely, and it's special to be a leader, one of the leaders for this group. I think all preseason coaches emphasize the importance of practices being harder than games. So we get on each other and practice a lot, but also at the end of the day remembering that we're on the same team, but we've had some really hard practices that I think have prepared us well for conference starting soon.
Well, I've watched you play, 1+ year now, and what I've been impressed with, and I'll use the Faulkner game as an example. You didn't have your best game that night, but you can't tell. Like what bothered me when I coached was the body language. Like if I'm having a rough night, my shoulders slump, I'm kind of giving 80% effort, but I can't tell watching you play whether you're playing well or you're not playing well. And that's really, really awesome. So good work with that.
And Coach, when you set long-term goals for your program, how important is it to have a player like Grace with the skill set on the court, kind of the character off the court that comes with that too, to kind of help set the foundation that you talked about, culture, that you can kind of use that to build around?
No, it's been vital. Grace last year stepped in, was a captain her first year in the program as a transfer, which I don't know how often that happens. But then obviously to move into a second year of her being here and to continue to lead and to understand, to help these freshmen understand as we get into conference play what that looks like and the grind of things and the homesickness part of things. We have a roster that is a lot of players from up north. And so a lot of these freshmen facing that, it's a challenge for them. But Grace is there to help. Obviously, Grace is from New York, and so she understands what it's like to be away from home. Yeah. And that's really big. I'm sure it's big for male athletes, but I know it is for female athletes because they value their parents so much. Yeah. And so to make those strides and to help them through that, it's been great to have her.
Yeah. Grace, what are some of the things about SEU that have made the biggest impact on you during your time here, and maybe something you hope your younger teammates will embrace about this community?
I mean, so many positives. One of the biggest has been the people, for sure. I think from teammates and coaches to professors and the wide variety of staff. Yeah. Everyone wants to be at SEU, and I think you can tell, and that really makes a difference. People genuinely want you to excel, not just as an athlete or student, but as a person as well. I think for the younger girls, I hope that they'll embrace the community here and really take hold of that and build as many connections as they can and take advantage of all the opportunities that really are here. I just hope that they don't take it for granted.
Yeah, that's good.
I mean, Coach Drew and I talk, and I mean, if you watch the show, President talks too all the time, just how every week at SEU feels different from most campuses, right? And it's, sure. And I say you've experienced that firsthand. I mean, you left your alma mater to Freed Hardeman and a successful program to come here. Like, what was it about SEU that drew you and made this the right fit?
It's been a question I've been asked a lot. It was funny, an official asked me that the other day. I was like, this. I didn't expect this from an official before a game. But the thing I told him, and I tell everybody, is my wife and I decided that we needed to make a bigger impact, and Freed was a place we were very comfortable, and that's a good thing. But it's also it's not where you grow, and we knew that we could make a bigger impact here, and so that's the biggest thing that was, there's a lot of different things. Southeastern is an amazing place. When I stepped foot on campus, I mean, this is part of the reality, too. I recruited to the middle of nowhere, Tennessee. Yeah. And Southeastern's got a little bit nicer appeal to it than middle of nowhere, Tennessee. So it's those parts, those are fringe things. At the end of the day, it is really about, like, where can I make the biggest impact to make people grow, not just on the court. We were doing that. It wasn't just about that. Can I help them to grow off the court too? Can I minister to them in other ways? And my wife this year, last year she worked a full-time job. This year she's working part-time just to be able to focus on maybe being able to be around a little bit more to help in that way too. So, because It's a ministry, and so and if you're in coaching for long term, you have to think of it that way, because otherwise you're going to get into sales. So because you can make more money in other things probably.
Well, I think it's great watching Kelly and the kids, like how involved they are with what you do. You were saying the other day that last year's loss to Warner. What happened after that? You got home.
I got home, not feeling great about it anyway, right? Senior night, lose to Warner. If we win that game, we get to host the conference tournament. That's just how it played out. And I go home and I'm greeted by my, at that time, 10-year-old Annabelle, and she greets me. She said, "Daddy, that's a bad loss." And I'm like, "Yes, Annabelle, I know this. Thank you, thank you." But so they're very aware all the time. It's like last night, they didn't get to come. Annabelle was at rehearsal for a play she's in, and we told her to score. She's like, "Well, yeah, I mean, that's what I expected." So they're very much in tune. They care a lot. Annabelle tries to know everything she can about her players. Like, she knows where they're from, like their parents. If she can know their name, she'll know it. Like, she's all about trying to know everything.
Well, you think about an alternate universe, right, where you get home and she's in a room playing video games or talking to her friends and has no care for what you do.
Right.
And I think that's incredible that she's invested that much that she meets you at the door and go, "Dad, man." Bad loss.
Right? Exactly.
Well, and it's funny, as in my job, like when I see you Monday morning after a game like that, I could say, "Yeah, that wasn't not a great loss," but I don't.
Like, right. You're a little nicer than me.
I know you know. I know you know that it's not.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess we got to wrap up the show here at some point. But
sit here all day. It's a great group.
And on homecoming week, we couldn't wrap up without asking both of you about our word of the year, which is unleash. Tell us how that word impacts your lives, what it means to you.
Yeah, Grace, I'll let you go first.
I think for me, it's all about just letting God work through me without holding back. And I think a lot of times as athletes or just people, we let fear or doubt limit what we're capable of. So I think for me, just trusting God and His plan will allow me to fully explore the gifts and the potential that He's gifted me with. So this year, that's what I'll be focusing on and trying to do my best at.
That's good.
Yeah, I think it just piggybacking off that is just making sure I don't stand in the way of His mission. I think a lot of times that's the big, talking about the comfort zone. Like, we can stand in the way of Him, and so we got to unleash and just get out of the way and let Him do His work through us and through this team and through the mission of the school too.
Yeah, that's a really good wisdom from both of you. Yeah. Coach, Grace, thanks for joining us today, and congratulations again on an incredible start to the season. Let's keep it rolling.
Let's go.
Thank you.
So before we go, we've got a huge night and weekend ahead for Fire Nation.
Yep.
It all starts tonight, 6 o'clock, right here at the SEU soccer field. Sun Conference Championship match, Southeastern Kaiser for a trip to the national tournament and the conference title. So come out early and help us pack the stands.
And then on Friday and Saturday, it's Homecoming Weekend 2025. 2 days of campus celebrations, alumni events, the Fire Fair, the golf cart parade, which is something we don't do up north for homecoming, by the way. Did you ever, in Albany, have a golf cart parade down?
Unfortunately not.
Yeah. The rally on Friday night, and of course Saturday's homecoming tailgate and football game at 4 p.m. against Ave Maria. Don't forget, it's a blackout game. We are all ready for that, actually.
We came prepared.
So wear black and bring the noise.
You can find the full schedule of events, registration details, and times, everything you need online, alumni.seu.edu/homecoming. Everything you need to know about Homecoming 2025 is there.
We want to thank our guests, Coach Josh Epperson and Grace Field, our incredible sponsors, including Coca-Cola Beverages Florida, and of course you, our viewers and listeners, for spending part of your week with us.
There's so much to celebrate at SEU, from championship runs to homecoming traditions, and we're grateful to share it all with the Fire Nation family.
We'll be back next week with more highlights, stories, and guests from across SEU athletics. Until then,
enjoy Homecoming weekend. We'll see you at the game.
Go Fire.
Go Fire.